That's now two losses, bad losses in a row for the San Jose Sharks. What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Sharks Latest. I'm your host, Jimmy, here to bring you everything regarding your favorite hockey team. If you don't want to miss anything, Team Teal, hit that subscribe button below and you'll be part of the family. And don't forget the notification bell as well. Man, that was ugly, y'all. I thought the game against the Oilers was ugly. Didn't think it could get any worse than that, and sure enough, the Sharks have proved me wrong in this one, y'all. Game 78 last night was a game in Anaheim, the final game between the Ducks and the Sharks in their four-game series. They split the season series now 2-2, but nonetheless got absolutely destroyed at the Honda Center last night, 6-1. This one wasn't really close at all during the entirety of this one, y'all. This is bad. This is bad back-to-back losses for the San Jose Sharks. Didn't seem like anybody wanted to show up on this one, y'all. Defense didn't show up. Special teams didn't show up. Offense didn't show up. Coaching didn't show up. Look in the crowd there. I don't even know if Sharks fans were showing up at the Honda Center out there, but hats off to Anaheim, right? You know, a lot of blame is going to go to the San Jose Sharks for the same things that continue to happen, it seems. But at the same time, y'all, Anaheim played a fantastic game. This was a test for the San Jose Sharks. Why? Well, the last two opponents that they got absolutely clobbered by are two opponents that are looking to head into the Stanley Cup playoffs and potentially make some noise in the Western Conference. And not just that, these are also two other teams that are in the Pacific Division with the San Jose Sharks. So this was going to be a great opportunity for the Sharks to really test themselves, show the world, hey, this is what we're capable of. And here's where we are late in the season when we're trying to make a playoff push. And those, people say actions speak louder than words. So you can listen to all the post-game interviews that you want. You can listen to me talk all that you want. The San Jose Sharks have shown in the last two games maybe they are not ready to be competing in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Maybe they won't even make it, right? So, bad loss. I heard an interview at the very end of the game with Dmitry Orlov. He kind of hit the nail on the head when he says, hey, look, we've been lacking energy. Now, that is a fantastic statement because that is hitting the nail on the head. It does seem like there's no urgency. It does seem like there is a lack of energy. Sometimes it still seems there is a lack of chemistry, which I'm sure there is. But Orlov said when lacking energy, you must simplify. And that is a very, very true statement, I feel like. I feel like a lot of the young players that are still coming into their own in the San Jose Sharks, especially with a lot of pressure on their plates, to be successful, to contribute, to try and get the Sharks wins, to get them scratching and clawing into the Stanley Cup playoffs. I do think there are some young players that are just asking too much of themselves, not going back. I said it last week in one of my early episodes. There's that feeling of some players, well, they'll talk about just going back to playing the game of hockey like they were a 10-year-old in the driveway or on the street playing street hockey. You have to sometimes get rid of all the noise, all the pressure, and all the inner thoughts of, do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? Am I doing enough here? And sometimes it's just go play hockey. If you're a youngster, don't get too much in your head. Just go out and play your game. That's what I think Orlov was trying to say in his interview last night. But that was, once again, hitting the nail on the head. The San Jose Sharks need to simplify their game. Just go back to playing hockey. And that might lead to some better things, especially from some of the younger players, because Well, whether it was younger players or not, gosh, the entire team found a way to get cold last night. Some stats that I like to pull out that can kind of show you guys exactly where we were. Well, here's another unfortunate stat. San Jose Sharks have lost back-to-back games against Pacific Division opponents that are looking to position themselves in the playoffs. But the Sharks also allowed hat tricks to basically the opponent's top player. This wasn't even their top scorer as of last night. The night before, okay, well, it's Connor McDavid. That makes a little bit more sense. But in last night's game, I get it. I get it. We all know who John Carlson is. He's a tremendous defender. He's not someone that scores a lot of goals, y'all, but he had 3 last night. So Sharks are just, they seemed a little lost at times, right? And it seemed like there were some times where I'm just calling spade a spade, y'all. It seemed like there were some times in the game last night where the Ducks were putting in a lot more effort to get to the puck than some players on the San Jose Sharks. And you better believe here on Sharks Latest, we will be addressing all of those things when it comes to the off season. Who did good? Who did bad? Who did ugly, right? We'll save that for another day, but nonetheless, the entire team was cold last night, including one Macklin Celebrini, and obviously, we've been saying it before, the team goes where Celebrini goes. We've showed the stats before, the record that the Sharks have when Celebrini's able to get at least a point versus when he doesn't and he fails to record one. It's a night and day how the San Jose Sharks played, and, well, I don't know how you want to call it, which one's the good or the bad, but that looked like nighttime, I'll say, because we were absolutely getting shut down and the lights were getting shut out for the San Jose Sharks. So at one point, y'all, check this out. The Anaheim Ducks, and this is another example of where the San Jose Sharks are. The San Jose Sharks had a total of 17 shots on goal for the entirety of the game. I think they had 14 in the one against Edmonton. Anaheim alone in the third period had 14 shots on goal. So yeah, that tells you one thing, right? Wow, they're getting a lot more opportunities on the net to score. But at the same time, the fact that this happened in the third period, the moment of the game when the Sharks should have been backs against the wall, scratching, clawing, fighting with everything that they have, putting in every effort they have just to be in survival mode to try and claw back at such a huge deficit in last night's game, which was the third period. Didn't see any of that happening. Just saw the Sharks continuing to put their tail between their legs and continue to just want to lick their wounds and get back on the bus and head back to San Jose. So that was a pretty ugly game, y'all. Here's another statistic to kind of show you guys this. And this is going to attribute to Anaheim's defense. Anaheim had a fantastic defense in last night's game. San Jose's top line, 3 scoring opportunities the entire game. So 1 opportunity each period if you break it down that way. Now, Anaheim's top line had 12 opportunities to score, y'all. That is 4 times the amount of opportunities as the Sharks' top line. And so, once again, a lot has to go with the Ducks. Going to give them credit where credit is due. But at the same time, a lot of blame goes to the San Jose Sharks for just not being able to figure things out. And so that's why our second slide is literally same mistakes lead to same results, y'all. I labeled this one here Groundhog Day for a reason. If you remember watching that movie with Bill Murray, he wakes up every day and it's the same old thing over and over and over, and he goes to bed and he wakes up and it's the same thing again. Sometimes it feels like we're living that movie with the San Jose Sharks. It's the same thing over again. It's the mistakes on the defense blue line. It's mistakes from the forwards not getting correct, crisp passes. It's once again, it seems like there's some miscommunication on some of these passes where I see the Sharks going to pass from one player to another, and it easily ends up on the stick of the Ducks or the opponent. So Same old thing seems to happen for the San Jose Sharks. Don't know what's going to give, but the more that we seem to free fall, if we do, towards the end of the season, the more that you might see some changes coming with the San Jose Sharks. Now, the big question that I ask is, who do we hold accountable? Well, there are a lot of people that we hold accountable. But in yesterday's video, you did see me talking about defense. That's the big issue for the Sharks. The Sharks need to fix a lot of things on their team, but defense is going to be the biggest need and the biggest thing the Sharks will address in the offseason. And so in yesterday's video, I did ask, who's in charge of coaching the defense for the Sharks? Who's in charge of progressing our defense and planning our blue line? So your boy had to do some research. Once again, y'all, I told you guys in yesterday's video, I'm a little new to hockey talk, so I'm knowledgeable, but gosh, there's just so much information to learn when it comes to the game of hockey. Your boy's going to continue to improve as he plays, just like the San Jose Sharks will. But you better believe anything that I don't know, I'm going to go out and I'm going to find that information. That's what we do here on Sharks Latest. We want to make sure that we're just not a pretty face here talking to you guys. Okay, I had to say that. I'm just not a face talking to you guys so you can hear me talk about Sharks. I want to give you guys good insight. I want to give you guys good information and feedback that can really answer the same questions that you might have yourself at home. Who's to blame for all of this? There has to be blame. That's the unfortunate part. There's a lot of blame to go around, but you typically have some places to look for certain things. Now, for me, the number one person that I'm going to look at, well, it's always going to be Coach Ryan Warsofsky. It has to be Coach Ryan Warsofsky. He is the head coach, and that just comes with it. When you are the store manager and you manage a retail shop, if you will, there's a lot that can go wrong. It always will come back to you as the head honcho of who are you hiring? How are you setting expectations? How are you motivating your team and your assistant coaches so that they can be set up for success? So Coach Warsaw, honestly, I'm not too upset with his interview that he had last night. He's calling it a spade too. So, but nonetheless, head coach, he's got to get some blame, but not calling for his job by any means. A big one, though, that maybe we might be potentially calling for his job is assistant coach Doug Huda. Now, this is where I had to do my research here, y'all, because he is our assistant coach. He's been our coach, well, since Warsofsky came in. Coach Warsaw brought him in. He has a good resume. I think he's 59 now, but he was an NHL player back in the day. He was a good defenseman from the research I've done and has a decent resume being an assistant coach helping out the blue line and PK units. Now, he came from the Islanders where he did a couple of seasons, and he did dramatically improve where the Islanders stood as far as a defensive standpoint, but we're not really seeing the same kind of progression here. Once again, blame to go around, and I'll throw one more name out there to blame as well. It's the blame game here on a Friday, y'all. But look, when Huda was with the Islanders and he was coaching their defense, they made, once again, dramatic improvements from being at the bottom of the league in certain defensive statistics to jumping up to being not middle of the pack, but in some statistics, getting close to it. Now, that's okay if we don't make that kind of jump. That's the thing that you want to know about Sharks Latest as well. Once again, we're realists, y'all. So we're not going to come calling for your job if you're like, oh man, we didn't make a dramatic jump from last to 16th or last to 18th. I just want to see us go from like dang near last to like 22nd or 23rd or 24th, right? But shots on goals allowed, last season we were the second worst in the league. We're the seventh worst. So that's good. That's okay. That's an upward trend in an okay direction I like there. But the two that I wanted to point out that I'm not a big fan of, that I did want to see better results for the Sharks, the PK. right? So once again, I just talked about that is something when I did my research, you go on the San Jose Sharks website, you look up Doug Huda, and it looks up his bio. He will show you. There's ESPN again letting me know that the Sharks got to get it together. But if you look that up, you'll notice he was very big on implementing a PK unit that drastically improved the New York Islanders. Our PK unit was the bottom of the league last season. This season, second worst. Not the improvement you want to see. Goals allowed, last in the league last season. Well, we're still second to last this season. So, yeah, an improvement, but oh my gosh, if we're just improving one spot every single season, it's going to take us 30 years to get good, y'all. Obviously, that's unfair comparisons, but Doug Huda is someone that I'm going to continue putting a spotlight on. I'm going to continue to watch. I'm going to continue to do research on and going to do a fair assessment of him when it comes to the off season. And the third person we're going to point the finger at here, it's got to be GM Mike Grier. And that's just a simple one, right? For not giving enough support by adding the right players to add into the blue line. Look, y'all, the more that I watch the Sharks, especially as of late, the more that I'm just close to having the opinion of let them all go, y'all. Just almost rinse and repeat, hit that reset button. You know, I think Dmitry Orlov is someone that has to stay a San Jose Shark. Vinny Desharnais is a defenseman that has to stay a San Jose Shark. Mario Ferraro, I'd go back and forth on. But outside of that, y'all, part of me just thinks just let the rest of them walk. So those are things we'll touch base on a little bit more when it comes to the off season. But those are three individuals that I think you must blame, at least off of the ice, for the people that are in control of who is on the ice and how they progress on the ice. I'd like to see a little bit more there, maybe some potential changes when it comes to the off season. So last thing we're going to check here is going to be the wild card 2 standings, like we end every episode, it seems. A lot of action last night in the NHL, and unfortunately for the San Jose Sharks, they now fall another spot in the wild card 2 standings. LA had a good win last night, so they're actually back up. They've been playing a little bit of leapfrog back and forth with Nashville. It seems like those are the two teams to beat. LA Kings are now on a 3-game win streak at 85 points. Nashville, luckily, they lost a game, so they're staying at 84. But Winnipeg is also now on a 3-game win streak, just like the LA Kings. So they have leapfrogged the San Jose Sharks. They now have 82 points. And San Jose, riding our 2-game losing streak, we have 81 right there at the 4th spot. So still mathematically in it, y'all. So we're still going to continue preaching that we're trying to play for a playoff spot, but you never know what is to happen. Now, the next game is the best opportunity for the Sharks to right the ship, and why is that? Easiest opponent that they have on their schedule, that's going to be the Vancouver Canucks. We all know how the Canucks are playing this season. They're looking for that number 1 spot in the draft. And so San Jose has their last home game of the season coming up. That will be tomorrow, Saturday, at the Tank, 7 p.m. puck drop. So this is a must win, y'all. If we do not win this game, you better start looking to the offseason and to the draft, because every other opponent is harder after that. Stanley Cup playoffs only become dramatically harder after that. So that's all I got for you guys on this episode. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you like Sharks Latest, you like your host Jimmy, you can follow me on Instagram at Sharks Latest Host. But make sure you hit that subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment. That helps our algorithm out tremendously. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it teal, Sharks Nation. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Hopefully I'll be reporting with a grin on my face on Monday. A big win for the San Jose Sharks. I'm out, y'all.